Good morning, vinyl community. It's George Allen here. Vinyl LPs and CDs. Hope your week's going well. Mine's going okay. Gonna talk about a little jazz again today, and even my very first Christmas album. The jazz I'm going to talk about today is from not one of the most innovative jazzmen of our time, but certainly a very talented tenor saxophone player, and that's Ike Quebec. I'm talking about his album Bossa Nova, and the Bossa Nova came out of the Samba movement, and down from South America, and trying to remember what country. I ought to make it a habit that I brew a pot of coffee here in my little tornado room, so my mind is clicking better early in the morning. Anyhow, this is really a very interesting album, and ever since living in South Florida, I'm just kind of attracted to Latin music. And you mentioned salsa, samba, bossa nova, any of those type of music, and really grabs my attention. So I saw this. I don't know if it was mentioned in somebody else's video. They just were going through a bunch of records. I saw this mentioned, so I had to get it. And boy, I really love this a lot. And kind of a sad story about Ike Quebec. He grew up trained as a dancer and playing the piano, and he was very accomplished at both. However, in his 20s, he decided to switch to the tenor saxophone, and then that's what he became most noted for. Although on some recordings he did play piano, and was a great sight reader. While he did some recordings with Blue Note, because of his ability to read so well, there are many that claim that he went uncredited for doing a lot of arrangement for different sessions for other people. However, he was the time that he started playing, he played mostly with big bands, and so he didn't gain a lot of notoriety at first. Then he ran into a problem, as some musicians did, with drugs, trying to make a comeback, because a lot of the folks at Blue Note liked Ike a lot, because he had a very unique sound. So they tried helping him out, and he did a couple very good albums. And this being the last one he recorded in 1962, was released in 63, same year then that he passed away, at only age 44, dying from lung cancer. This album he did, actually it lists 4 players: Kenny Burrell along with Ike, Wendell Marshall, Kenny Burrell on guitar, okay, Wendell Marshall on bass, Willie Bobo on drums, and Garvin Masu on chicory. Now that's this instrument, and I don't know if I'm saying it absolutely correct, this chicory was was a Cuban percussion instrument. It was a gourd with beads tied around it. So you hear it intermittently. So in effect, it's not like it's kind of like, well, it was a percussion instrument, okay. So in effect, really, it was Ike on sax, Kenny Burrell on drums, Marshall on bass, Willie Bobo drums. So you got Ike, Kenny, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're really like a quartet. And somebody was talking about difference between quartets and quintets. I think it was the Pat over in the Vinyl Archivist the other day. How rarely you find quartets in jazz. Mostly quintets, but this is one of those rarities where it actually is a quartet. This is the inside, little gatefold here. Show you the record. I have to say that it's a beautiful, beautiful sounding record. It's on this Dole label. Beautiful sounding. Music. Ike's sax playing. Very wonderful sounding. Very wonderful sounding. A little bit different than other guys I've heard. I like it a lot. Kenny Burrell's guitar playing. Superb. I like Kenny Burrell. This is wonderful. Very mellow and bluesy. This is a great album. Great songs. And there's, as it's called, Bossa Nova, you can guess that it has that slightly Latin flair, but with a jazzy, bluesy flavor. I'll tell you what, you want a great album that you want to mellow out to, a great album for a Sunday afternoon. Put this on to relax. This is the album you want to listen to. I think this is great. Surprisingly enough, the Bossa Nova only came into vogue during the 40s and 50s. So it's not, and in Rio de Janeiro. So it's not like it, sometimes we think some of these things existed, like for hundreds of years or something. But this was a relatively new format. He had an album prior to this that was released called Blue and Sentimental, and I think I might get it just to see what it sounds like. But I highly recommend Ike Quebec's Bossa Nova. Very good album. Now, the second one I wanted to talk about, I mentioned a Christmas album. So, when you're living at home, you always end up getting stuck listening to the Christmas stuff your folks have. However, 1970, finished my first year of college. I come home for Christmas, and I go to W.T. Grant's. Now, any of you guys remember W.T. Grant's? It was like Woolworths or some of those other five and dimes. And every year they'd put out a Christmas album. So I thought, I'm going to buy my own Christmas album. So I got A Very Merry Christmas Volume 4. And on it is Steve Lawrence and Edie Gourmet, Gary Puckett from Gary Puckett Union Gap, Mark Lindsay from Paul Revere and the Raiders, Mel Torme. How about that? What a lineup. Johnny Cash, Tony Bennett, Aretha Franklin. Wonderful album. And it's on the Columbia label. Look at that. How about that? I'll show that to you. So, pretty cool, huh? So I got my first very own Christmas album that didn't come with this Invest in Vinyl. Hey, I just put that in there recently. I cleaned it up, and put it in a better sleeve. And they did that, I think, up until 1976 when W.T. Grant's went out of business. But this is Volume 4, which came out in 1970. So everybody's been starting to show Christmas albums. I thought I'd just show you the first one that I had. And obviously I've gotten some Christmas albums since then, but I just wanted to show the first one that I got. So that's what I got for you today, folks. If you liked this video, subscribe. Even if you didn't like it, subscribe anyhow. Why not? Leave some comments. Comments help us a lot to know which way we're going. Up, down, in or out. And hit the like button. Don't hit the dislike button. Well, you can hit the dislike button. You know, I've never had any dislikes. I remember one time, I don't know, when I first started watching these a year or so ago, Vinyl Richie did a whole thing on likes and dislikes, and he wanted people to hit dislike a lot. He said, I want to see how many dislikes I can get. You know how he is. He's a funny guy. Anyhow, that's it for today. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.